Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be continuing part 2 of this video series, doing a crochet kit from Wicked. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, we are going to continue doing Glinda. So excited about this one. The movie Wicked is premiering on the 21st, so of course I have to get this done. Oh my goodness gracious, and we also have to do Alphaba, so I'm hoping to finish this tonight so that tomorrow, what day is it? Oh my goodness, tomorrow I might do part 1 and 2 tomorrow, or maybe part 1 Thursday and then part 2 on the premiere Friday. I didn't intend to do that. I thought I was gonna post. Oh my goodness. I don't know what made me think that I had time. Time is flying, and then next week is Thanksgiving. So anyways, if you'd like to make this kit, this video is a supplement to the kit. If you want to make it, I highly recommend that you go to your local Five Below or their website to get it, because you can still find it there, both places. So I cannot show any instructions due to copyright, and then I highly recommend that any of the viewers watching, please don't share the instructions as well, because you don't want to get in trouble yourself either. But anyway, I will be going over new steps at least 3 times, step by step, and then anytime that there's needs some explanation for the instructions, I'm going to go over that, because these aren't beginner friendly. I don't think any of these kits are really. But anyway, let's see. If you want to speed up or slow down the video, click on the gear button. There's playback options to go fast or slow. If you don't need to hear me talk, you could always lower the volume on your device, and then click on the CC closed caption button. Alright, so let's get started into this. We ended up with round 36. And now we are, well, not only are we in a new video, so I'm going to show you all the stitches all over again, step by step, but we are introducing for the head a new type of stitch called a decreasing stitch. So that as well is something I'm going to show you step by step. Okay, so let's see, I'm just looking ahead. We have our skirt, arms, hair, crown, and then assembly. So since we're halfway through the head, I'm thinking that maybe the rest won't take so long. However, the skirt does look very involved, and so does the hair. Yikes. So I don't know if this ends up becoming a 3-parter. It is what it is, and I'll just have to, you know, post my last for Alphaba on Saturday. Unless that's a 3-parter, and then I'll end up posting the last of it on Sunday. So alright, so let's get started doing this. For rounds 37, we have to do single crochet stitches. Follow the number of crochet stitches that it indicates on the instructions, but I'm going to show you how to do 3 of them step by step. So stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over again, and we're going to pull through those 2 loops. Alright, let's do this the second time. Into the next stitch, put in your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So now we have 2. Let's do 1 more together. Into the next stitch, put in your hook. We're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops on your hook. Then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. Alright, so now we have 3. I'm just going to continue the remaining single crochet stitches, and then I'm going to show you what to do next. So just for my experience working with this kit, the company is called Innovative Designs LLC. I've had experience with running out of material, so try not to make too loose of stitches. I mean, I thought I did pretty decent stitching that wasn't too loose. But now I'm trying to make them just a little bit tighter, because I have, like I said, experienced running out of material. Alright, for the next set of instructions on round 37, we're introducing the decreasing stitch. So the decreasing stitch basically is taking 2 stitches and turning it into 1. So stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over. You're going to pull up a loop. So you have 2 loops on your hook. Then we're going to go into the next stitch over, put in your hook. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop. So now you have 3 loops. Then we're going to yarn over again and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. And that's a decreasing stitch. We took 2 single crochet stitches and we ended up with 1. Alright, so if you've noticed, these set of instructions are covered in parentheses and it has an X with a number. So this typically means that you're going to repeat the instructions within the parentheses how many times it mentions, and then the number in brackets at the end of the instructions talk about the number of stitches that you have to have when you're done. And if you saw my part 1, I do use these stitch markers. Hopefully at this point you have them now. If not, again, I highly recommend that you get them, because from this marker you can count your stitches per round to make sure that you are on track with the instructions. If you didn't have this here, you're not going to know where the last stitch was from the previous round, so it's going to be really hard for you to keep track of your stitch count as well as the round number. I think when I did the previous body parts, I left my markers in each round because I was cooking in the middle of it and it was stop and go, that I was able to keep track by just counting the number of stitch markers that I put on each round. So we'll get more into that once we get there, but for now, let us repeat what's in the parentheses, the number of times that the instructions for round 37 tell you to do. So I'm just going to do that now. I do want to show you the decreasing stitch 3 times. I'm thinking about it and I'm like, oh, I only showed you once. Okay, so this is the second time I'm going to show you how to do the decreasing stitch, and then I'll show you one more time after that when we get to it. So for decreasing stitch, again, we're taking 2 stitches and turning it into 1. So stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop so that you have 2 loops. Then we're going to stick our hook into the next stitch and we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops. And then we're going to yarn over again and pull through all 3 loops, creating a decreasing stitch. We took the 2 stitches and we made 1 stitch out of it. All right, again, so let's just repeat the instructions that are in the parentheses, and then I'm going to show you how to do another decreasing stitch one more time. Okay, so again, we're going to take 2 stitches and turn it into 1. Stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So you have 2 loops on your hook. Then you're going to take your hook and stick it into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop so that we have 3 loops on our hook. Then we're going to yarn over again and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. So we took 2 stitches and made 1. Alright, so now that I showed you this decreasing stitch 3 times, feel free to rewind this video as many times as you need till you get comfortable, but I'm just going to continue with the rest of the round and then we'll come back in and talk about round 28. And then I apologize if there's noise coming in from the background. I usually mention that I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment, so there's no way to get rid of sound unless it's like super quiet in here, and it never is, so apologies for that. Alright, so now that we've finished round 37, I'm just going to remove my marker. I'm going to place it just under the stitch that we made here. Each stitch looks like a braid, and I'm just putting this stitch marker underneath that braid. You want to make sure that you clear it and that you don't accidentally split it in half. So here you can see that it's like it's going through perfectly. Close it up. And then for round 38, we have some single crochet stitches, we have a decreasing stitch, and then we have another set of parentheses, which is alternating single crochet stitches with a decreasing stitch. This time, be sure to keep track of how many times you repeat that parentheses, because we do have single crochet stitches in the end. But you'll figure in the end, you can't do any more parentheses, so you just do the single crochet stitches at the end. Alright, so the best way to attack instructions like this is to always take it in pieces. So where you can. It seems like commas are breaking up the instructions in sections. So do the first set of instructions before the comma, and then move on, and so forth. I think that's the easiest way to not get too overwhelmed with all the instruction in one round. Alright, so I just actually finished one of the parentheses. What I'm going to do actually, you can take your stitch markers. Again, it'd be good. These I've collected over time with different kits. You can mark. I'm marking the end of each parenthesis. So this is one, and that's just an easier way to keep track of where you're going, and then you can just remove it later. Okay, and then normally what I do is I just count back. But as you can imagine, it's a longer count back without these stitch markers. So again, that's why I think it's better to just have these markers in. so like I said, if you just kept going with these parentheses and didn't put a stitch marker, you're going to find that once you get back to that first stitch marker we put in the previous round, that you no longer have room to do another one. So that would also indicate that you're good on your parentheses section and you should stop. So that's another way of doing it. Alright, so now that I completed that round, I'm going to just replace this stitch marker under the last stitch we made. Again, make sure you clear it and it's not piercing the yarn. Then you can take all these other stitch markers, like I said, since we won't be needing them anymore, you can just take them out. And then of course, if you just wanted to count your stitches to make sure you have the right number, you can always use this stitch marker to keep track of your previous round. And you can always count backward to see if you have the right number of stitches. All right, so we're gonna do round 39, and 39 looks like it's a lot easier than 38. It's similar to 37, where we're just gonna take the instructions within the parenthesis and we're repeating it X amount of times. So what I'm gonna do is well, I want to do this in silence because I don't want the sound to pick up, but forget it. Let's read ahead because there's text actually. It says to put plenty of stuffing in the head and neck so that the head is able to be held up. Alright, well, here's the thing. You could put it now, but the cavity is so large that it could just fall out, and it's going to be a pain to avoid poking accidentally into the stuffing. So we're going to wait a little bit. I think when we get to round 41, if not 40, it's like, I think that hole would still be larger enough for you to fit your stuffing in. So we're just going to hold off after 39. If you want to do the stuffing, by all means, just do so. But I'm just going to wait because I can fit my hand in here. All right, let's do this. And I'm actually excited about doing these. I 100% wasn't excited about it because again, on the other kits that I've done from Innovative Designs, and I hope I'm not jinxing myself, but I thought the instructions were going to be horrible. They're not. And I also felt like, oh, there's not going to be enough material. So far, so good. So I'm really happy about this project so far, which is, thank goodness, happening, because, you know, this movie is probably liked by so many people. It did very well at the box office, does well on Broadway. I would hate for this kit to be the same as the Halloween kits I did, because, you know, I can imagine all of you are going to be super disappointed if you run out of material or the instructions are just really atrocious. So hopefully this video can help you out a little bit. Again, I'm not showing everything, but I'm at least trying to help a beginner learn how to do the basics. Oh my gosh, what is that? Creating an entirely different stitch here. Okay. All right. I'm going to remove the marker and replace it under the last stitch we made. Make sure that you clear the yarn and you're not splitting it in half. But we're going to go on to round 40. And this one is like round 38. We're going to have to break this up into sections. So what we have for this round are some single crochet stitches, some decreasing stitches. We have a parenthesis, alternating single crochet stitches and decreasing stitches by the number of times it tells you, and then we're doing a single crochet stitch in the end. So taking this section by section, all right, replace the marker, the last stitch we made. It is getting a little complicated right now. Maybe it's the hand lotion that I'm using, but I might just fill the cavity. The question that I have here is that we have the face that consists of the eyes and the eyebrows, and I have a feeling they have you doing this at the very end, and I don't particularly enjoy that because if you do the eyes now, where does it say? Oh, it has you doing the eyes after round 41. Okay, but I'm going to do it now because this is getting too small for my liking. Does it also tell you to do the eyebrows? Because I also want to do the eyebrows as well. Yeah, I feel like it has you doing the eyebrows much later, which is fine, but at the same time, we'll be able to hide this. There are knots when this is open. So I'm going to do the eyes and the eyebrows. Does she have lashes? I think she has lashes too. So let me see. Undesired location. Box. Oh, and they just want you to look at the box. I wish they just, some kits tell you what round to put them in too, and I like that, but they don't tell you here. Okay. So yeah, it doesn't tell you to do the eyebrows, or I think there's lashes, but I'm going to do them. So what we're going to do, because I don't want to deal with this hook right now, I just pulled that stitch really out there. And this is going to keep you from losing your stitches. So we're going to set this aside. By doing the feet already, it kind of picks a side for you. So this will be the front based on how the feet are turned up. So we're going to use this. And I'm going to take out my little packet here. So inside we have the eyes. And I actually want to take out black and brown for the eyebrows, the sewing needle, and then let's pour out the eyes. I want to put back this gray. Always put back the stuff you're not using in the packets or in the box so you don't lose it, and also you don't get debris or dust on it. Alright, so I'm going to move this aside. Let's take a look at the box. So what I would do here is kind of guess. I don't like that, but kind of guess as to where the eyes could be. So here is the connection between the head and the body, I feel. So if you look very close, it looks like that's a line, this is 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 a line, and this is a line. So let's start counting, although find out right away if this is different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's between 6 and 7 they put the eyes. Let's see if that's the case here. Let's just say this one is hidden too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we're looking about right here. Does that look possibly right? Yeah, I could say that. Because maybe her hair is going to cover that all. So from here, we're going to figure out the middle. Or maybe let's move the row up. Can we move it up? All right. Or maybe no. It's hard to say. I guess you're just gonna have to look and just gauge for yourself. I'm gonna put it up here. Anyway, I stuck my crochet hook in the middle of the face of that row. So from here, what I can do is, oh wait, and make sure that it is in the middle. It's a bit crooked actually, so I think the middle would be here. All right, so then I'm going to take the eyes, and oh, you can also count how many stitches it's far apart. So let's take this needle here. So we can kind of count the stitching. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 or 7. Let's see. Well, I guess if I put this right in the middle, then I guess one, 2, 3. We're gonna put this one of the eyes in here. If we use 7, it's gonna be off. So let's just use an even number, 6. I'm gonna stick this on the 3rd stitch on this side. Oh, look how cute is that. And then count the same number on the other side. 1, 2, 3. And I didn't put the backings yet. You want to definitely make sure that's where you want them. So you can do that by just placing them in temporarily, looking at the doll versus the box. And also at the same time, you can sew the lashes. So that's what I'm going to do before I put the backing on the eyeballs, the safety eyes. So let's do that. I'm going to unravel this embroidery floss. And I'm only going to need a little bit. We're only going to do like a couple of, things here. So I would try to just guess on how much yarn you would need to get that done. Okay. Thread this up. All right, and then we're going to start sewing. By doing that, you can kind of see where we're going to put the needle up. We're going to put it up right where the safety eyes come up. You can probably temporarily remove it for now. And then just put your needle through there. And then we're going to make our eyelash like yay high, I guess. And then you can pop back in the size, see if it's going to look okay, because yeah, I think that's all right. You know, it kind of comes out a little bit. You don't need her to have, you know, fake lash lengths. Although maybe they did in the movie. So from inside the head, I'm just going to double knot this. That's why I like to do everything with the face before we put the stuffing, so that we can hide all of our knots, because then it would be a little difficult to do that later. I've done it before, but this way is a bit easier. I'm going to stick that needle back into that spot where the safety eyes come from. Oop, I lost my thread here. Okay, stick that back where the safety eyes came from, and then we're just going to do 2 of these lashes, so maybe one out to the side here. Let's see. You can always change it if you don't like it. And I think that's okay, or maybe it should have been off to the side. So let me just undo this. And this is where you can get very meticulous about your design here. Oh, I did it again. Maybe that was too far out. So this is why we do this, so we can test to see where we're putting these things. Just gonna do one over. Just didn't think that would be enough, but we'll see. Okay, so I guess it kind of works out. Very tiny, but I think it works. Alright, then I'm going to remove this other eye, and then we're just going to stick this needle right where that safety eye was going in. And we're going to do the other side. Don't pull the thread too much, because we want it to ride the perimeter of the head, because you can, once you put the stuffing, it's going to start pulling, and you're going to create 2 dimples in here, and that's not fun. So try to keep some slack between the 2 eyes. And then we're going to just do the same thing. We're going to go in and come back up to create 1 lash, and then go back in the safety eye, and then go back in to create the 2nd lash. Okay, then we can go in here and just tie. Again, leave some slack in between the eyes so that there's no stretching or dimpling. And then we can tie these 2 together to make it secure. Okay. Did I double knot that? Oh my gosh. I don't know. Don't remember. But double knot it. Doesn't hurt to triple knot it. Okay. Then we could put our safety eye in, and now we can put our backing. Oh my gosh, look how cute that is. So you're gonna put the cup towards the outside, so you see it's kind of like that. Just snap it on. Okay, and then we're going to do the other one. Snap it on. And then we have our eyes. Alright, so now we have to do the eyebrows. So this one again, we just have to look at the box to kind of gauge where we're putting these things. All right, and let's see. So for this one, it looks like it's one stitch on the inside of the eye and maybe 2 stitches on the outside. You can't really see because of the hair. But then it looks like there's 4 stitches in between. So what we're going to do is kind of measure this out. Okay, we're going to cut this. So, oh, and how many rows up? Okay, it looks like it's 2 rows up. 1, 2. So 1, 2, and it looks like we're going to be 1 stitch in and 2 stitches out. So we're coming in from here and we're going to go in here. Oh, that's cute. Okay. And then I'm going to tie these 2 together. Double knot. Okay. Then I'm going to come in here. So we got 4 stitches apart, and then we're going to do 2 stitches out, and we have our other eyebrow. I feel like for this one, this needs to be in more, so I'm just going to go back in with my needle, and we're going to just go back, drill back, and we're going to go in here, 3 away, and then take a look at it. Yeah, I think that looks more even. Oh my gosh, this thing is too cute. She looks very like straight-eyed, put some smile in it. Anyway, I'm going to tie this to the other end here, double knot. Okay, we can tuck in the ends on this side. All right, so now that we've done that, we can now, oh, did I drop my, hold on a sec. So now I'm going to go and take the stuffing and we're going to stuff the head. I think this is all that we need to stuff, so let's see. I highly recommend you get more stuffing so that you can have it on hand in case you need more. But what we're going to do is there's a little bit of neck that we can fill, so we're going to do that. Just take a little piece and fill up this neck. It says that you want to fill it enough so that the head can hold itself up. And we want to fill it, but maybe not so much that we can't control it. We can still fill after we do round 41. So let's not get too crazy. But but we want to be able to just at least fill it out. Okay, so let's just work with this for now and then do round 41. So for we're going to stick our hook back into the large loop. To tighten it up, we're going to just pull on the feeder yarn and it will get smaller and tighter around your crochet hook. All right, I'm going to grab some yarn here. Now for round 41, we just have one parenthesis set of instructions, and we're just alternating single crochet stitches with decreasing stitches. And then again, the brackets that have the number in there is the number of stitches you should be able to end up with after you finish the round. So for this, once it gets like smaller and smaller, you want to try to make sure you can make this as flat as possible, the section you're working with, because that's going to prevent the stitch from getting too wide. If it's too wide, you're going to have gaps, and you're going to see the fiber fill through these gaps, and you want to try to eliminate that, or at least prevent it. So let's do these parentheses, and then at the same time just watch at how tight I'm making these stitches, or at least how not loose I'm trying to make them either, if that makes more sense, because you don't want to try to make it super tight and then you can't put your hook in it. But at the same time too, see, there's a lot of things you have to pay attention to. Try not to stick your hook into that fiber fill, because it'll pull out of your project and then it's going to look messy. See, and the way that I'm making it flat, I'm minimizing the amount of gap between the two stitches. And it's usually worse when you do decreasing stitches. So see, it's always going to be bigger when you do decreasing stitches. This one is wider than that one. Try to keep it the same and try to keep it small. But it's okay if you can't as a beginner. I mean, you know, practice will help. So alright, now I'm going to remove the stitch marker and put it under the last stitch we made. We have one more round left. So this is how tiny we're working with. You can try to put a little bit more stuffing where you need it. I think there's a little, you can tell too, because there's a little dip on the side here that I want to fill out. lost the crochet hook, so again I'm just gonna pull this out a bit. I'm just taking a look around to make sure her head is nice and round and not lumpy. Okay, I have this much left, so I think that's it for this project regarding the stuffing. So you could always save it for another project, but let's press on. All right, so for round 42 we are doing decreasing stitches. So now more than ever you have to try to make the side you're working on as flat as possible so that you can minimize the amount of stretch that this decreasing stitch is going to make. So all right, so we have to finish this off and then just hide the yarn inside the head. So let me show you how to do that. We're going to use like a little bit of length so that we can close this head. So what I normally do is I go around the size hole generously about twice to give me my expected length of tail I'll need to close this thing. Okay, and then once I go around that perimeter twice, we're just going to cut this off. Then I'm going to yarn over and we're going to pull through the loop and all the way out. And then we're going to tighten this up by pulling on this. You're going to see that little loop turn into a knot. And then you can take your needle. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to go around the outside of the front loops of each stitch. Okay, and once you've gone all the way around, we're just going to pull until that hole tightens. All right, pull as much as you can without breaking it. Then I'm going to find my moment here, and we're going to tie a knot. And I don't sew, so I don't know the best way to tie a knot. I'm just going to tie a knot the way that I normally do, which is like a French knot, if you look it up. And then I'm going to stick my needle right where it comes up, and then coming out of some random spot on the other side, it doesn't matter where. And we're going to pull this through till that side disappears. Don't pull it too much because then it's going to start dimpling like that. So make sure you don't pull too hard. But then on this side where it comes out, we're just going to cut this flush to the surface. Be careful not to cut your project. And then we just squeeze the head a couple of times, or the body, or wherever it came out, so that you can have that little end disappear. It's gone. Okay. And so now we can move on to the skirt. All right. So it says that we're going to work the skirt into the front loops that are found on round 17. So that's right here from part 1. And we have to turn the doll upside down and use the pink. I don't know if I like that. Alright, so here's my pink. You just unravel this first. Alright, for this I just split the yarn open in part 1, and then I stuck my little cylinder here right in the middle to keep it separated and so that it spins around it. Or you can just create your own ball of yarn and, you know, do it that way. I don't know. And then there's like tools you can get that make it easier, but anyway. Alright, so what do you mean, people? Essential stitch behind. Okay, so we're turning this upside down. And then it also wants us to work behind the body. So what we're going to do is cast on with the slip knot. And how you do that is we're going to take your ring, pinky, and thumb and hold one end of the yarn. Then we're going to take our index and middle finger and hold the opposite end of the yarn. Then you're going to take your crochet hook and lie it perpendicular to the yarn, and we're going to go down, out, and around so that you can slide your hook up and down. Slide it down towards your thumb. Take your middle finger on your right hand and just hold it where it crosses so that we can let go of our left. Gather up some feeder yarn, and then we're going to repinch this end, get closer to the end as possible, and we're going to slide our hook farther down towards the thumb, and where it crosses, just pinch it with your middle finger and thumb so that you can no longer move your hook. Then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull a loop through, and then we're going to repinch this end here. Don't lose it. But now we want to tighten up this knot as close to the thumb as possible. And then once you get to that point, then you can take this little excess piece and pull it out just to tighten up this knot a little bit more. You don't have to go too crazy. Then we're going to drag the knot closer to the hook, and then we're going to remove it off of our hook like that and set this aside. So that's how you cast it on your hook with a slip knot. Alright, so they want you to choose a side. You can actually see the seam for where we go up on the rounds. I'm just going to use the first one here. Okay, and you can see that the last one is up there. If you want, you could always take a marker and put this on there. You can also see that for that first round for the skirt at the brackets, it gives you the number of stitches you're supposed to need. So you can just count these loops one by one and see if they end up with the same number that round one is supposed to be with, and match it with the marker. If not, you might have to add or subtract, but it should be the same number. Okay, so let's do oh, you can't count because we're doing single crochet stitches and increasing stitches. So I'm actually going to show you what an increasing stitch is. All right, so slip your pink yarn onto your hook, gather up some feeder yarn. We're going to start this. So we have parenthesis instructions of alternating single crochet stitches with increasing stitches. So we all know what a single crochet stitch is, so let's start that. So we're going to make it pretend that this loop here is our yarn over. So when we do single crochet stitches, we always stick into the next stitch, yarn over, we pull up a loop. In this case, because we have no second loop to work with, and I'm just realizing that now, we're going to yarn, we're not going to yarn over. Yeah, let's yarn over. Yarn over, we're going to do a slip stitch. Yeah, that would be the best way. So we're going to yarn over and slip through this loop here. Okay. So now we have a chain one. I know that's like, you're not going to even know it's there once we have it there. We just need to get this looped so that we can stick our hook back into the same stitch. Okay. And then we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, and now we have 2 stitches. All right. So from here we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through both loops, and we have our first single crochet stitch. Again, that chain stitch is going to disappear once we move on to the next round. All right. So from here we're going to do an increasing stitch for the first time on this video. So let's do that right now. Sorry, I have Dexter here. Comment below, let me know if you have any pets and if their hair is everywhere, no matter what you do. All right, so for an increasing stitch, basically we're taking 1 stitch and we're turning it into 2, and how we do that is we do 2 single crochet stitches in 1 stitch. So take your hook and put it into the next stitch. We're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in here. So yarn over, pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. That's 1 single crochet stitch. Then we're going to go back into that same stitch we just used, and we're going to do 1 more single crochet stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop so that we have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So we took that 1 stitch and out comes 2 single crochet stitches. So that's basically an increasing stitch. So I'm going to show you how to do this 2 more times. So go through your parentheses. All right, let's do another increasing stitch. Put your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop to have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Then we're going to do another one in the same stitch. So take your hook and put it in the same stitch we just worked on. Then yarn over, pull up a loop to have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. So again, we have 2 single crochet stitches coming out of the 1 stitch. All right. Repeat your parentheses again. And then one last time, we're going to do an increasing stitch together, step by step. So we're taking 1 stitch and turning it into 2. So stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to put 2 single crochet stitches in here, yarn over, pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. Then into the same stitch, put in your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop to have 2 loops, then yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Okay, so now that I've shown you this 3 times, You can rewind this video and keep playing it till you get comfortable doing increasing stitches, but I'm going to move forward and complete the rest of the round. Oh my gosh, I just realized, how long has this thing been not focused? All right. So in case this thing was super unfocused this whole entire time, let me show you how to do an increasing stitch 3 more times. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is actually a rather big doll, so that's good too for the money you spend on it. But let me show you how to do an increasing stitch. So here, let me show you it from kind of a little farther away now. All right, so we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in this one stitch here. So yarn over, pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then we're going to go back into that same stitch, put in your hook. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we have our increasing stitch, 2 single crochet stitches coming out of 1. So I will do this 2 more times because I really wasn't looking and I don't know if the focus was off the whole entire time. Oh my goodness. Okay. Again, 2 single crochet stitches into this next stitch. So here's one. You're going to put your hook into that same stitch and we're going to do another one. All right. Now one more time with you guys, stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in here. So here's 1, then here is 2. All right. So now I'm just going to continue this all the way around. Interesting. It seems like I have one extra that should end in an increasing stitch. So like I said, when this stuff happens, you can always count back. So let's do that now. looks like I need to add more. Did I miss something somewhere? All right, let me just count this and then come back. All right, so I counted. I'm missing 3 stitches and I only have 1 stitch left. And I don't know if I'm just not seeing where the stitches are, because it looks like I did all the front loops. You know, I don't think I missed any in between here. But what I'm going to do is, there's already an increasing stitch here. I'm going to do 1 more stitch in this one here. So if you are short a few, I'm only missing 3, so I can easily add 3 right here. So again, you just want to end up with the number of stitches that it says at the end of the instruction. So I'm adding 1, and then I'm gonna do 2 more in this last one. If you're missing way more than that, then I would try to span it out. Like maybe you need to do 3 for the next several stitches, because you don't want them all clumped in one spot. Alright, so I'm going to remove the marker and put it under the last stitch I made. I've added the 3 that I needed, and we're going to move on to round 2. So for this round, it's pretty straightforward. We're doing single crochet stitches, and I'm going to do this in silence. Alright, so I completed all the single crochet stitches. We're at the number that we need to be in for round 2, and then we're going to move on to round 3. So for round 3, we just have a set of parentheses, and we're going to repeat it a number of times, and then we'll move on to round 4. Alright, replace the marker. It's the last stitch we made. Then we're going to do a bunch of single crochet stitches. place the marker. Then we're going to do the next round, and this one is a little bit much. We have sections, single crochet stitches, increasing stitches, then we have a set of parentheses, and then we're going to finish off with single crochet stitches. Again, just go by section by section to knock this stuff down, and so that it'll be a little less overwhelming for you. So I'm just going to grab some yarn here. All right. Okay, round 5. Remove the marker. All right, so now we're going to be doing rounds 6 and 7, and this is pretty straightforward. This is going to be single crochet stitches all the way around. I am going to pull this out here because I might get a little distracted maybe, so this will be for round 6, And this will be for round 7. And I'm going to do this in silence. All right, so we are going to be doing round 8, and this is going to be it's a parenthesis set of instructions, and it's alternating single crochet stitches and increasing stitches. So let's do that now. Oh my gosh, I just realized I haven't been alternating. No biggie, just rewinding here. All right, completed round 8. We're going to be doing 9 and 10, and that is looking like it's just single crochet stitches. So 9 and 10. Let's see. Right, and then after that we have, ooh, we still have a ways to go. All right, let's complete 9 and 10. I'm going to do this in silence. All right, so I finished round, where are we on? 9 and 10, so we're on round 11. I honestly feel like you don't need any more skirt. This thing is gonna, like, you don't even see the legs anymore, so what's the point of that? But we've got round 11 through 14 left to do. I think that's a little bit much, but we're just gonna do it. So for round 11, we have another section type set of instructions. So we've got some single crochet stitches, an increasing stitch. Then we have a set of parentheses of alternating single crochet stitches and increasing stitches times the number of times they tell you to do it, and then we end with single crochet stitches. Okay, so this is a lot. I honestly want to stop right here, but like I said, we'll keep going. And then I try to keep these videos around 2 hours. So after I finish the skirt, we're going to see where we are with time. And then we might have to do a part 3. So I guess Alphaba is going to be finished after the premiere, but at least it's around the vicinity. So you have time to find this at your 5 below. Okay. Move the marker. Now we're going to do round 12 and 13, 12 and 13, and that's pretty much single crochet stitches. All right. So I'm going to do this in silence. All right, so I'm running out of pink, but luckily we have one more round to do, and it's basically, we're going to introduce the slip stitch, and I'll show you how to do that, and we're alternating that with the chain stitch, so I'm going to show you how to do that. And then we're done with the skirt. So let me show you how to do a slip stitch. Now these two stitches are really the basics of crocheting, so they're fairly easy too. So stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through every loop off your hook, and that's a slip stitch. That easy. Now the next basic stitch is a chain stitch, so let me show you how to do that. So you just yarn over and you pull through the loop and you have a chain, and that's that. So let's do a slip stitch again. Stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all loops off your hook, and that's a slip stitch. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through that loop, and that's a chain stitch. So one more time, you guys. Stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all loops off your hook, and that's a slip stitch. And then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through that loop, and that is a chain stitch. So rewind this part as many times as you need to get comfortable doing a slip stitch and a chain stitch, but we're pretty much going to alternate these two stitches all the way around the skirt. Okay, let me figure out what an invisible finish is. Be right back. Alright, I've looked and I don't see what an invisible finish is. So I'm just going to show you how to do a slip knot. Alright, so we're only going to need a little bit here, so cut about 1 inch or so. We can remove this marker. So what we're going to do is, let's do a slip stitch back to the first slip stitch we did. So stick your hook into that first slip stitch. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through every stitch. And then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through that loop all the way out. Right, and then we're going to pull that end to tighten up that knot. And then we can go in here and kind of weave in and out that tail piece in the skirt. To hide it. Okay, so once we hide this piece completely, I'm going to go check to see where we are with time. Like I said, if we are near or past the 2-hour mark, we will be doing a part 3, and we're definitely doing a part 3 because we still have arms, hair, and the crown left, and along with the assembly. I want to see though if we still have time to fit the arm at least. But this is what it's looking like so far. Alright, so I checked the time and it looks like we're around the 2-hour mark, so we're just going to leave it here. We're going to be doing a part 3 of this Wicked series making Glinda. We're going to do the arms, the hair, the crown, and then assemble all the pieces together. Yeah, and this is small enough and stuffed enough to stand on its own, as you see here. On its own. Loving that. So comment below, let me know how it's going for you so far. I'm looking forward to finishing this one because we have Alphaba next. So seeing as these kits do come in part 3 videos, we are going to be posting part 3 tomorrow, which will be Thursday. Maybe I'll be able to do Glinda Alphaba, at least start it and post it too. So maybe get part 3 and part 1 tomorrow. We'll see. Otherwise, we're going to do Alphaba on Friday, the premiere of Wicked 2. And Alphaba will just have to, assuming it comes in 3 parts, we're going to post it Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, thank you so much, you guys, for watching. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.